The dark period of Brantley Gilbert's life and the escalating alcohol abuse has been well documented. He recently told the Tennessean about how a hospital visit from Keith Urban helped convince him he could still be a great artist and live performer sober. But on the title track of his new The Devil Don't Sleep album, he sings about temptation. The song, he says, helps keep his head on a swivel. It's a reminder of a life he doesn't want to return to. In this second of a 3-part interview with Gilbert, he admits he still hears those whispers, and drink or no drink, there are still certain things that will leave him fighting mad, literally.
You've been pretty honest through the years, I think, about some of your sins and some of the trouble that you've gotten in, and lyrics that really stand out, like he's in your ear, he's whispering, lying again and again and again. When do you hear that whisper?
Man, I think it's a day-to-day battle, and I've never really been scared of a fight. So to me, it's kind of good to have something I can beat every day and win at every day. For me, it's The Devil Don't Sleep's not just about my addiction. I feel like people are drawing that line.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's conclusively the only aspect of my life that song pertains to. There's temptation everywhere. I mean, it's about just staying on the straight and narrow and making sure I'm winning those day-to-day battles.
And you won that battle initially, really, as far as I know, without help of like an AA or an Al-Anon or anything like that. Does that make it easier to kind of stay sober, or not having that support group, is that a little bit more challenging?
I feel like my support group, the people that I have around me, has a lot to do with staying alcohol-free and opiate-free. For me, I'm a Willie Nelson fan, and that's kind of looked down upon from time to time. So, but being alcohol-free and opiate-free, I feel like has a lot to do with the support group that I do have. It's the people that are around me that make all the difference in the world. It's one of those things that I noticed in my life. You hear your whole life that people say that the people that love you and care about you the most will stay with you through anything, and they'll be with you through anything. I found in my case that wasn't necessarily true. Amber, my wife, was one of those people, along with Eli, one of my best friends in the world. I didn't get to see my godkids for a while. There were people that said, you know what, man, if this is what you're about, and being with these people and doing these things, and if that's what you're about, I can't be about that with you. And, those people made a huge difference. It was the absence of those people, I think, that really, in the back of my mind, you lose more and more people that you care and love. You got to snap out of it at some point and make changes.
4 years, 5 years?
December 18th was 5 years.
5 years.
A drink, yeah.
Kind of an odd question, but hang with me because I promise this relates to one of the songs. Are you a mama's boy?
Love my mama.
Yeah?
Love my mama.
What advice did she give you as you prepared to get married?
With Amber, my mom knew that from the time I met Amber years and years and years ago that, like I said, it wasn't ever that I tried to be somebody different for her, but I tried to be the best person I could possibly be for her. Because I loved her that much. I want her to have the best. And if that's me, I've got to do everything I can to be what she deserves. And I said this I told my mom this, the way my papa loved my Nana and the way my grandfather loved my grandmother, that's the way I want to love my wife. That's what I know true love. My parents, that's a broken marriage, we're a broken family, but like my papa and Nana, he loved that woman. And my grandfather and my grandmother, when he passed, they both went to the nursing home together, and they had to sit them in a room together with their beds to where they could see each other. If he couldn't see her, he would start to have trouble breathing. They'd have to pull him out of the room. If they ever pulled her out to do tests or to do any kind of procedure, they had to roll him in the room with her. Till the moment he died, he was right by her side. That's how I want to love my wife. And I think that meant the world to my mom, to know that I love Amber that way.
In your music, you've always been very respectful towards women in your songs. And a few times in your music, and especially in a song like Bullet and Bonfire, there's an aggression, and an anger that I think kind of comes when you start singing about someone who's mistreating a woman, and it feels very, very real. And I mean, where does that come from? Did you witness something growing up at any point, or was there any other reason?
Yeah, I think it was
swells
that,
up.
and just since that, my whole life I've kind of that's just something that's rubbed me the wrong way, and I've never really been the kind of person to see something like that happen and not say something or do something. You know, even if it gets me in trouble. The big thing with Amber is she doesn't like me. You know, if I do have to get aggressive or if I have to handle something, as long as it pertains to me or to her or to our family, you know, she understands, and I've kind of got free reign to, you know, make a judgment call on that end. She just doesn't like me sticking my nose where it doesn't belong, and I understand that. But that is one thing that I think she and everybody around me understands, is there are some things that, you know, in this day and age, that's looked down upon, and that's not a safe thing to say, you
Right.
know. But, you know, one of my favorite parts of my career in my job is that I get to be the what you see is what you get guy, and I get to write the story of my life, and
Yeah.
I get to tell people about me, and I'm not going to sit here and look somebody in the face and lie to them. That song, in particular, pertains to you know, I can't say too much, but let's just say that if you are that person, I think you know that, you know, if you don't stay in your lane, I will get you.
There's one guy out there who may cross Gilbert even if he's a perfect gentleman. A terrifying burden for someone who, in all likelihood, is under the age of 3. Next is part 3 of this series, and Gilbert opens up about what he'll be like as a father and how soon he and Amber will start having a family.
You hear people say that have daughters that, oh, I'll go to jail, but no, I really,
Yeah.
I'll go to prison. Like,